Dear students, this is 5th SEM session 5 by University of Mysore. Today's topic is on plant nomenclature and binomial nomenclature. So in the previous classes we have discussed about systems of classification, that is Bentham and Hooker, Engler and Prandtl, Hutchinson, Conquest, etc. So in today's session we'll be talking about nomenclature, importance of nomenclature, binomial nomenclature, what is a generic name, a specific name and authority, etc. What is plant nomenclature? Assignment of definite names to plants is called plant nomenclature. The nomenclature involves the principles governed by rules formulated and adopted by International Botanical Congress. The rules developed by IBC are listed formally in a code called International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, abbreviated as ICBN. The major goal of ICBN is to provide one correct name for each taxon. The system of binomial nomenclature, which we'll be talking later. So before that, let us know who is a nomenclaturist. A nomenclaturist is a taxonomist who assigns names to new taxa according to the rules of ICBN and finalizes the right name for a specimen according to an established system of classification. Why is nomenclature important? Is because this nomenclature is important as to avoid the chaos or confusions in the field of taxonomy. Next, moving on to the common names and scientific names. What is common name and what are scientific names? Common names are not universal. They vary in different languages. They do not provide information indicating generic and family relationships. Well-known plant may have hundreds of common names. For example, we call Vinca rosea as Sada Pushpa in Kannada, and in the same way that Vinca rosea can be called by some other names in different languages. So that this common name is not universal, and these common names, they do not provide any information regarding generic and family relationships. So well-known plant may have hundreds of common names. Sometimes two or more plants have the same common name. Many species do not have any common names. On the other hand, the scientific names are universal and are recognized throughout the world. They provide information regarding generic and family relationships. A well-known plant has only one scientific name. Two or more plants have different scientific names. All known plants will definitely have a scientific name. Now moving on to binomial nomenclature. What is binomial nomenclature? The system of binomial nomenclature was introduced by Carolus Linnaeus. Multiple local names make it extremely difficult to identify an organism globally and keep a track of the number of species. Thus, it creates a lot of confusion. To get rid of this confusion, a standard protocol came up. According to it, each and every organism would have one scientific name which would be used by everyone to identify an organism. This process of standardized naming is called as binomial nomenclature. All living species, including plants, animals, birds, and also some microbes, have their own scientific names. For example, Saccharum officinarum, that is the scientific name of sugarcane. The scientific name of humans is presented as Homo sapiens. Homo represents the genus and sapiens represent a particular species. The Indian bullfrog is scientifically written as Rana tigrina. Rana is the name of the genus and tigrina is the name of the specific species. So the two word genus and species naming system for organisms is called as binomial nomenclature. So Linnaeus first he wrote about this binomial nomenclature in Species Plantarum in 1973. According to this system, the scientific name of a plant consists of two Latin words. The first name is the genus, that is the generic name as I already mentioned, or the generic epithet. And the second name is the species, that is the species or specific epithet. Example, in Saccharum officinarum, Saccharum is the genus and officinarum is species of this genus. So as I said, this is a two-word genus and species naming system for organism that is called as binomial nomenclature. Now moving on to the rules of binomial nomenclature. A biologist from all over the world follows a uniform set of principles for naming the organisms. There are two international codes which are agreed upon by all the biologists over the entire world for the naming protocol. They are the ICBN, which deals with the biological nomenclature for plants. Then the second one is the ICZN, which deals with the biological nomenclature of animals. These codes make sure that each organisms get a specific name and that name is globally identified. So next, moving on to the generic name. Generic name is always a noun and written with the capitalized initial letter and the remaining small. The generic name is also always singular in number. Several generics name may be in honor of the names of well-known persons. Example, Theophrasta is in the honor of Theophrastus. They may be descriptive with reference to some common characteristics of the included species. Example, Cercocarpus, which is coiled fruit, which common name is coiled fruit. They may be poetic or mythological origin. Example, Theobroma, which is called as God's food. Next, moving on to specific epithet. According to the 1983 recommendations of the ICBN, all specific epithets will be written with a small initial letter. Both specific epithet and generic names should be underlined. They should be printed in italics or boldface. The specific epithet is often an adjective. Specific epithet may be a name in honor of a person or may be derived from a geographical location or may originate from an old common name or may be derived from some characteristics of the plant or it may also be named arbitrarily. Next, moving on to authority. The name of the species is incomplete if it is not followed by full or abbreviated name or names of author or authors. For example, Pyrus malus is incomplete. The complete name is Pyrus malus L, where L is abbreviated for Linnaeus. Citation of the full or abbreviated form of the author is necessary because this will verify the date or time of the first valid publication of the name of a particular taxon. So to sum up, the entire two-part name must be written in italics. The genus name is always written first. The genus name must be capitalized. That is, the first letter of the genus must be capitalized. The specific epithet is never capitalized. So, dear students, this is the end of the binomial nomenclature, and here are some few MCQs which may help you in further studies. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.